I have a special video for you guys today. It's a recording from one of our private sessions with a private client. Her name is Judith, and she's a artist, 2D artist from Canada. And she's now moving to 3D, and she enrolled into our private program. But anyway, she agreed for me to share this video with you, and I think it's a great video. It's a lot of insight in this video. It's a lot of interesting remarks and discussions, so you might learn a lot. And Judith is an accomplished artist, and like I said, she's moving into 3D, and she created a fantastic kind of like a sci-fi scene, one of the best renders I've seen in a long time. In fact, probably one of the best renders I've seen coming from our community, period. So I've seen quite a few good renders. This one is definitely up there with all these amazing renders, and it's a very complex scene. It's a sci-fi station, a space station. It's just phenomenal, and she put a lot of work into it, and kind of breaking it down and discussing it, and also talking about a lot about art and other things. And at the end of the video is going to be a fun rant, Ryuu style, so enjoy. All right, so can you see my screen?
Yes.
Cool. So run me through it. What did you add? Because you were adding a few things, and I can see some new stuff here in the corner. Much many more people, which is really cool. So did you change anything or add anything?
What the only thing I added since you saw what I did, I changed the where it says I don't even loading bay or loading zone level 2, there's a door. Yeah, that one. I changed that one. I felt like it looks too primitive. So I made it more like, interesting. The size. And then I added like those crates of crates and tanks. And then I added two other forklift just to dress up the place. And then oh yes, like where the window is, like above the loading bay doors. Yeah, there. Inside, I added like little servers.
Yeah.
I
That
don't know
looks
if you
cool.
can see it
Yeah,
at
I
the end
can.
of the right side. I added like monitor screens on top with like decals, and there are three other big monitors just to the left. Yes, that. And I finished the inside. I added trim just to give more details to the room
Sick. Yeah, it looks
and the
good.
door,
So
just to give it more alive, I suppose. And then the one thing I did, which I feel like it gave more punch to it, is the panel on that wall. You can see like it has reflection to it. Yes. So I added I just rise up the metal, the metallic and the roughness. So I felt like it would break like that matte look to it. And I didn't want it to put it all over the place, but it was just enough just to break that, matte look or plain look to it. That's all I did.
and the planet was rendered inside of Blender when you were rendering the image, right? I mean, it's an image in the background, basically.
Yes, that's a 16K image.
Yeah. Well, it looks really good. I mean, I like a lot about this render, many things, and so let's break it down. So first of all, there are a few things I would I would kind of nudge in or out, but it's just so little, to be honest. It's really well thought out. So now, there are different types of renders, and some renders are kind of accidental, and some renders are designed in a way that they don't look designed, and this is one of them. Like, it's all the elements kind of play together very well, and they don't look designed, although I know they were placed with a specific intent. So this is really cool. So first of all, what we have is what I really like about this image is there's kind of like a mathematic sort of a game of angles to it. So you got you get this sort of like a mathematical game of angles, right? So you have the angles of the ship, which basically is parallel to the lines and and walls of the station, And then you got the
Mm-hmm.
extension of it in the form of this platform, and for you know, carrying loads and the crates, and also this one. And you got another emphasis here on this on these railings, and obviously here. And then you got the you close it off with a crane, which also, you know, is sort of at the same angle, right? And then we got the, you know, this the hatch for the ship, and that's it. And then you do the same thing in the other direction, because if I'm gonna grab another plane and go with you know, sort of like a different color, then we're gonna have similar stuff going the other way, so you know, this way, right? Which is really cool. And you know, so we had these lines sort of cutting them at 90 degrees, but then you have stuff that's actually dynamic. So you know, these guys aligning this way here, these guys aligning here like that, and this guy looking actually at an angle of the ship. So this is really cool. So the game of angles is very static, and then you break it with some dynamic stuff, which is really awesome. And what I really like as well is that it looks, you know, it kind of tells a story, right? Because we have some guys coming in or out of the canteen, or just going somewhere here to chill, or just, you know, do some business, whatever. Some of them are busy here, you know, fixing the cargo. And these are probably workers from the station. This guy is just, you know, pretending he's working.
Yeah.
And this one is about to get
I
squashed. I love it. So, but yeah, it just kind of sells the story that something is happening. The vessel came in, you know, they are offloading it, unloading it, putting some cargo. There are guys on the top here as well, which is really cool. And you know, they not only sell the scale of the whole station, because we have a guy here, we have guys here and guys here, so we got kind of a, you know, connection between them. And each of these sides of the station, we can kind of feel how big is it, right? Because you know, they're really far away, they kind of mid distance, and this guy's kind of, you know, in the first plan. So each of these areas, you know, we know exactly how big is it, right?
mm-hmm.
Another thing is that what I saw the reflections, and I really like them, because you know, these reflections make this whole scene bigger. Just like with a mirror in a house, when you have a mirror, it just makes, you know, the bathroom whatever larger. uh, the same here, it kind of expands this area on the top and makes it less kind of, you know, like constricted. So I really like it, and also adds more light, because you got light reflections, right? So you gonna add more depth,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which is really cool. Another thing I really like about this scene is is the um, is the placement of lights, and and the lighting itself, because it's really cool. We got this dark space, and you know, and this kind of like a force field here that holds the vacuum of the space, you know, it holds all these people safe, right? Because otherwise they would just all
Mm-hmm.
be sucked out and dead. So that's really cool. We got this kind of glow here, which is really awesome. And then we got lights, you know, not too many on the top, so they're not really overpowering, but the environment is lit very well, so it's really cool. It's not, you know, it's not too dim, it's not too bright, it's just like kind of perfect. It sells the light sells the size of this area too, because if you have lights, you know, kind of like on the ceiling and all that, you need to kind of powerful lights to light stuff, you know, so at a such distance, because the distance here is really really long. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how many meters, 40. This is huge, right? So
About, yeah.
these lights would need to be really powerful to light, you know, the bottom of this station. And it's brighter gray, so you know, the light's gonna bounce and reflect anyway. But still, you know, that's kind of like a good amount of light, and it's not too bright, not too dim. It's kind of like, you know, spot on. And then you got these guiding lights, you know, like a bit of a different color here and on these, which kind of like, you know, sort of brings attention to specific areas that we want to look at, right? I really like this one too. It's kind of also very kind of angular, and then you got this light here. That's pretty cool. All these small lights, and then different sizes of them, and these tiny ones here, kind of, you know, it's just all playing really nicely. And there are not too many of them either. And they also place kind of, you know, in a way that makes sense, because we have lights above the entrance here too, and they kind of misaligned, you know, which is really awesome. Different sizes again. So this is really cool. There's some light inside as well to highlight, you know, what's going on over there. So this is really nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
We got lights here. I really like that. So lights are really well done. You know, got these tiny lights on the ship that gonna guide you. You can barely see them, but I can see them. Barely guide. They kind of, you know, barely visible, but they guide you around the vessel. And you got even some tiny lights here on the floor, which is really cool, right here. So this is really interesting with lights, that even such a small light like this here, you know, this kind of tiny light, they will be
Mm-hmm.
visible, but they will not be overpowering. So kind of like stars in the sky, you know, they kind of create like a pattern or like a constellation, right? That guide
Mm-hmm.
you through the shape, you know, of the vessel, right? You know what I mean? Which is really,
Yes.
really cool. So next thing I really like about this are separation between areas, okay? So you got the separation here, so you can clearly see the design language and kind of a borderlines of, you know, the outlines of the object, especially that you got a really light gray floor, and this color is also kind of pastel matte, you know. So it's
Mm-hmm.
difficult to would be difficult if, for example, if these two were overlapping with these crates, whatever, or with a door, would be difficult to distinguish where the shape ends and when it begins, right? But this separation is really cool, and it's everywhere, which is really, really awesome. This is really important to understand that these separations are so important. Even here, all these humans and the cargo is clearly separated, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, from the vessel, and some with the cargo, you know, some with the door here, right? And you know, these forklifts, all these elements are kind of, you know, separated and, you know, um, isolated from one another, which is really cool. So that's great. And then obviously we got this guy here, and it's important that I remember the previous render you had was he was kind of like cut off here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you moved him down, and now we can see that he's standing on something, which is really good, because that's, you know, that's how he's supposed to be. You know, kind of shooting or framing people. You could cut him in here or here. Here we better, but this is perfect, right? Because, you know, he has this ground he stands on. We can see the full size of a human, so we have a full
Mm-hmm.
scale reference, and, you know, and it's great.
It
Now,
kind of breaks the small sizes too of the characters. Like it kind of gives a break of the little minuscule
mm, mm,
human.
exactly. And then color balance is also great, because none of the areas is actually overpowering. This light here is a little bit strong, but I think it's fine, because actually for me this anchors this area really well with a triangle. So I'm kind of focused on, you know, on this area here, which is really what I want to look. So this is actually not bothering me at all. In fact, it brings people up here to kind of, you know, discover these reflections, and then down, because there's not much happening here, and then down here, and you're kind of stuck in this triangle, which is really awesome. What I would not change, but what I would fix is just few very minor things, right? So first of all, I'm not crazy about this highlight here that's gonna be bringing attention to the edge of the frame. So what I would do, I would vignette this or darken it, and you know, that would be one. And maybe either put some paneling on something that's going to make this wall a little bit less plain. Maybe some kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
vending machine or edge of it, but I would darken it so it's not really pulling much attention. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing you could do is straightening this image so it doesn't distort here in the corner. So the wall here is straight. So you could go to right click and distort with Photoshop and move it here just a bit like this. So you see the wall here is going to be a bit more straight and going to be parallel to the edge of this frame, and it's going to kind of echo all all other perpendicular angles to the floor. You know what I mean? So because it's just a distortion of it's a lens distortion, right? You see that?
Mm-hmm. I see what you mean.
Yeah, so just I would just move it a bit. It's a small thing, but yeah, and this definitely should be darker, right? So yeah, and just put something here, maybe some kind of like I know like a piece of a roof. Maybe you can copy from the roof and put something here. I don't know, but something that looks like a bit less plain. This would be amazing because it's a little bit plain. I'm not saying make it complicated and detailed, but something that's gonna be here and vignetted. I think it's gonna close this image really nicely. And
Okay.
I think that's that. And also, I would remove this one. You do,
Okay.
I wouldn't put anything saturated in the corner there. Um, I think it's
Oh,
gonna.
you mean the blue?
Yeah. I would nuke this piece here.
Okay.
Um, I know it's on a crate, and then I know it's kind of like a sticker or something, but I think it's gonna be looking better. Usually, when I render something and I got um, decals and lights and whatnot, in an environment that kind of cause issues, I move them, remove them, or change them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
uh, let me just clone stamp this.
I see what you mean. It removes the catchiness of it. It
See,
removes the attention.
yeah, you don't need it because it's a completely different color from everything else. I know you have this blue here, or similar,
Mm-hmm.
but this is in the very corner, and it's actually contrasting with this gray or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it just there's no other color other than this yellowish here. And it's actually this blue is stronger because it's more saturated. So saturation is always gonna pull eyes wherever it is placed, right? Like a small, very small light's gonna pull a lot of attention, even if it's tiny.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really need that. So I would nuke this. And honestly, other than this, I don't think there's anything else. This is really well designed. And it's not easy to design a complicated scene like this because there is always gonna be something that's gonna be causing issues. It's not gonna be perfect. In fact, if it's not perfect, it's maybe even better because it looks more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But the scene is really well put out. Another thing I really like about it, I just noticed it now, is that the white sides here. So the white sides of this vessel of the ship, the white color here, the panels, they really nicely kind of separate themselves from this kind of a grayish background and the space. Because if you put this color in here, right, this darker,
Mm.
gray, you see, this wouldn't work. Look,
No, it
it's
wouldn't.
just blending right here, and same here. Just this one is not as bad as this one, but this one would blend. So this white actually really nicely separates and also plays very nicely with this color. So this is really cool. Normally, I wouldn't put three colors on one like a model. I would go with two and try to keep
Mm-hmm.
them like 70-80 or 70-30, sorry. But this is working really well with this vessel and the station. In addition, it separates these two. This is fantastic. It separates these guys two perfectly from the environment, so they're even more visible. If there was gray behind them, you would barely be able to see them. But because it's
Mm-hmm.
white, you can see the silhouettes and you immediately know these are humans because we're drawn to silhouettes very, very, very quickly, right? Like if you see a tiny silhouette of a human, even barely visible, you know it's a human because you're instinctively drawn to them very quickly, right? So this is really good. And yeah, it's looks lived in. You could put maybe a person or two maybe talking in here if you wanted to. So you're gonna have a reference of this top floor here, but honestly, it's not necessary. It would be nice, kind of a conversation here between these two.
Mm-hmm.
But
There's
it's
actually two guys up there.
Oh
There,
shit.
there you go. Yes, it's just like because I was thinking, I'm gonna brighten them up a little bit in Photoshop, just so it gives like that little hint of, I don't know, monitor reflection on their face. You see you know what I
I
mean?
think if you move them here, it's gonna be a bit better because this area is brighter. Also, it's in 2/3 because they kind of more or less in the
Oh,
middle. But yeah, if you
mm-hmm.
move them here, away from these dark monitors, they're gonna pop kind of they're gonna pop more. Okay, here I think. Also, I wouldn't put them on this panel. I would put them somewhere here. So they're gonna be in between these two
Okay.
panels, 2/3 more or less on this window, and they're going to kind of break try it because they kind of blend with these two lines, you know what I mean, from
Mm-hmm.
afar. But I think here gonna be more visible. And yeah, you could make them brighter. You could try. You could
Yeah,
try.
I'll test them on the left side.
Oh,
Yeah, there's no. Yeah, it could possibly work better. That's for sure.
it's not super important because it's gonna be barely visible anyway. But I think it's gonna be a nice touch here. You know, yeah, over there. And another thing you could consider because you put some. I remember you were saying that you had like a was it concrete or something kind of a texture, right? And you stretched it above along the whole floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like one texture on the whole floor, and then you got all these pieces, and then you got what are these decals?
Are they No, they're not decals. They're just I just changed the color
Oh,
of
so you simply made a cutout and
what did I do?
you
No,
apply
I
different texture.
I I cut the shape of it,
Mm-hmm.
and what I did is
Change the color.
when you what's the when you press the I button when you're in the object mode, you create like an inner shape inside. And all I did is I
Oh, right,
selected
right, right.
that and I
Inset.
changed the color. Yeah,
Okay, you inserted it as
inset.
right, 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 and
Yes.
okay, that's brilliant. Actually, that's really cool. That's a brilliant idea. Yeah, it's very. That's very because these lines I was about to say they really add a lot, and I really like that they kind of sort of irregular. There's a thinner line here, then it fattens. There's angles which are actually echoed, but you got this cutout here. This is really cool. This design is very very well done, and I like all these irregularities because they kind of bring chaos to this order because you got order in this image, right?
Hmm.
Which is something I kind of like about it. But this order would be boring if you didn't break it. But you break this order with these with these diagonal lines. So again, we got this order here, and then you break it with these kind of crazy cutouts, and then the humans being misaligned, and this guy watching this way, and all that stuff. So this is really awesome. So these lines add a lot of really and a lot of flavor to this scene, and they kind of break it at angles and bring more kind of a dynamic feeling, right? But the fact
Hmm.
that they all at the same angle just kind of emphasizes they sort of empower one another. You know what I mean? That
Hmm.
they follow the same angle. It's probably like 45 degrees or something, but it looks really
Yes,
cool. And
approximately.
what you could do, because now the floor is kind of, roughed up, but the station is very clean and pristine. What you could do, right, is you could pop a texture in Photoshop. So let me just see if I can show you what I mean. Hang on.
And
Textures.
uh and by the way, when it comes to the colors, I really followed the what you were suggesting. Like I really used the X the X's that I used for the ship, and I went on ChatGPT and I asked to bring me up like a range of high, medium, and low colors that would
Mm-hmm.
match
Mm-hmm.
with the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what I did. And it really helped. It really harmonized the whole spectrum
I was
of the
about
tone of colors. I've
I was
used.
about to say that the colors are very well, yeah, exactly like I said, because ChatGPT will give you mathematically correct color palette. So they're
Hmm.
gonna be complementary on the entire scale. And whenever I design something, thumbnails, whatever, I always ask ChatGPT for colors to go with it because it will mathematically give you correct answers, and they just spot on, like spot on. Doesn't matter what color. It's blue, yellow, green. It's just gonna make it, make it fit, and it's pretty amazing. So yeah, they play very well together, and you got quite a
It
few
really
colors
did.
here, yeah, and they don't clash. You see, they none of these color is allowed. Like you got this kind of prevailing color here, right? But this
Hmm.
is because it's bright and saturated and warm, but it doesn't, for example, collide with this on this. This one is much brighter. This one is brighter, I think, as well a bit. So they really work well together, and they work perfectly with these kind of military colors in here, right? Or kind
Hmm.
of military-ish colors, whatever. And then you got these grays, and so this color kind of brighten things up. It looks really really good. So yeah, the colors are really well done. They're really well done. But anyway, what I was about to say is that if you wanted to, what you could do, right? I'm just looking for a right texture. Hang on a second. Maybe something like, or maybe this one would work. Now we need to change the color of this, obviously. But what you could do is, scale this and put it. It's gonna be with text, but you could put it in perspective. So could distort it and put it in perspective, so it's actually following the perspective of the station, right? And then we could just approve this and make it larger, right? And maybe drop the opacity a bit. And what you could do is put a mask on it, right? So alt click to add a black mask, and then grab a brush that's gonna have a randomized flow, or kind of like a brush that you can get from. I don't have many brushes in this Photoshop, but I'll need to open a different one. But you can get all kinds of weird brushes that imitate dust or scratches or whatever, and you could kind of with a white brush here with a lower opacity, right? You could brush off these areas here, obviously not the windows, but yeah, something like this. Well, this is too strong. And then you could even double click here and go with blending to remove it, for example, from darker colors and keep it on in brighter colors, right? And then lower the opacity. So you're gonna introduce a little bit of, you see, of dirt into the station. This is a really easy way of doing this, and no one's gonna
Hmm.
know. See what I mean? So it will not look
Yes.
as new, but you don't have to do it. It looks fine. I'm just saying this is something you could consider, and it's gonna look. Maybe you could even take the same texture you use for a floor
Hmm.
and you literally cut it out here, right? And just brush it, like gently here and there. So it's gonna be a little bit more because this wall, for example, here looks very clean, right? So you could just add some stuff to it and make it a bit less, less pristine. And I think it's gonna kind of the same with the floor, because this one is super clean. It's gonna look a little bit more like the floor here and the main floor. But that's
Well, they
about
keep it clean, you know. The
it's a
staff keeps the.
it's a Japanese station, is it?
Well, you don't see them; they're behind the scene, you know.
No, I mean completely fine. I'm just saying that just a suggestion that if you wanted to very quickly add dirt, this is the best way to do it. Very easy, and and
Hmm.
and because you can remove it from anywhere you want, you can apply it with a different strength. Especially when you're using Wacom tablet, you can set it to
Hmm.
variable strength, and then when you apply pressure, you can dictate with the pressure of your hand how much of the texture has been applied to to a surface. So this is how I used to use textures when I was doing Photoshop
Hmm.
composites. And the same with crates, because crates are gonna be used and transported and abused, so they shouldn't be so clean, right? So you
Hmm.
could do that. It's gonna look a bit more believable. But this is just like final touches, really. If you have nothing else to do and you're bored with a donut and a cup of coffee, do you know what I mean? So
I thought of doing that once I knew that my rendering was all clear and ready to level. So yes, like I do want to add some little damage and dent on the crates because, like you say, you don't want it to look too. It, you, they look like they just came out of the manufacturer, you know.
Mm.
So
Same here, you know, I would really suggest maybe not as much, but you definitely want to kind of
well, the vignette
vignettes.
will help. I will add some details like you suggested there, but
Yeah.
also adding a vignette
See,
will
like,
help the
yeah.
frame better
See that?
the whole room. Yes, much better.
Yeah, so now you could also change it to soft light. In this case will not actually work. Or maybe darken. This could work very well, right? And then we could just, you know, we could
Just to
also again
fill.
remove it from, double click the layer here and remove it from darker areas. So it's going to kind of blend a little bit better, right? But then on top of it, definitely I would run a vignette. You could do it manually, or you could do it with, you know, Camera Raw, or you could do it with Color Effects Pro. You have so many ways of doing this, but definitely vignette would close it. But you have to be careful, and I think you're gonna have to be um, sort of selective with it. So now another thing you could do, you could add a bit more light to the middle of the scene. So you could do something like this here, apply this, and then brush it off from everything else. So what I would do here is very simply apply a mask to it, grab a brush, and I would just literally paint here in the middle, like this. So by doing so, you're gonna make this middle a little bit brighter. And the same with the lights. So, you know, just gonna brush it here and there when you think there will be the most amount of light. So you're going to kind
Mhm.
of emphasize the middle part of this image and kind of bring everything together. The Color Effects Pro has a filter for it. I don't know if you're using this, but it's called darker um, darker center, brighter edges or something like that. Hang on, where is it? This one. Darken, lighten, lighten center. You see that? So you can literally do it as a slider and then set it
Oh,
to a
okay.
different, you know, different size and shape. But you can also do it manually. It's fine. But another thing is the vignette here. You know, vignette filter definitely, and you know, to play with it. And once you apply the vignette, right? So let's say we're gonna go with this one, and gonna make it smaller, and we're gonna apply it. I would do the same thing. I would apply a black mask, or even better, remove it from other innos because it's a little bit too, it's too deep, right? So I would grab a
Mhm.
mask here and I would manually paint from outside, okay? I would paint from outside like this. See that?
Mhm.
Because when you have a soft brush, it's going to encroach into the image with a very, very soft transition. So you can barely see that, but it's actually adding vignette, you see?
Mhm.
So you could do it this way, and then you can dictate, like this one should be brighter because it's a bright floor, so you cannot add too much. Some of the corners could be a bit darker, especially the ceiling, because you want to um, embrace this brightness in the middle. So if I'm gonna switch between, you know, before and after, see what I mean? Like the attention switches to the middle.
Yeah, it gives more
It
focus.
yeah, it's like flipping a switch, like doing Control I, inverting it from outside to inside, right? And that's exactly what you want. And then at the end, what you can do, if you really want, because you already have some blur here. How did you bloom? I mean, how did you do that? Was it the nodes in compositor?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, and I think the bloom is enough. I don't think you need to add more bloom. I think this
Actually,
might
I
be fine.
added the bloom at maximum at high. You know, you have a range of
Yeah, yeah,
low,
yeah.
medium. I pushed it to high. I wanted to see the difference. And also I wanted to do it because I add like a volumetrics, but I didn't add too much because I didn't want the place to look like it's under smoke. So I added enough just to feel like that you like the lights on the ceiling. You see how it gives like that smoky,
Yeah,
like
the
you
amount
could
of
see that.
volumetric is perfect. It's for this
Mhm.
station is because look, it's a clean station, right? It's concrete. There's no dust. There's no sand. There's gonna be a bit of dust, obviously, because in a space like this, there always gonna be dust. But this is actually perfect, right? The amount of bloom and the the amount of volumetrics and it's just spot on. I usually do it with a mist. If I create something more complicated, I'm gonna use a mist pass or just run a bloom using Oniric in Photoshop. You could also add like smoke or fog brushes and then dial them down. So I would need to open a different Photoshop to show you, but there are, I think it's this one.
I do have
Let me grab this
a
image.
smoke and fog effect, cloud, name it.
Uh huh. Yeah, like and then you just kind of like like with the texture here, what you can do is remove it with a brush, right? Why is this Photoshop not opening?
I mean, you're running like
Oh,
a previous
I
version.
can open two of them. No, yeah, I got a few versions, and the other one has my brushes in it. So this one doesn't have any brushes in. I got like custom brushes in like fog and smoke and stuff. They are on a website called envato.com, and there's a really good pack of brushes called mist brushes. They're amazing, and you can apply them and just kind of tone them down, and it's gonna be like volumetric, sort of. Not as they're really really good. But mist pass is usually better because it's kind of more accurate in terms of where it kind of it's applied when it's not applied, or just volumetrics. It's even even better than that. So yeah, but this looks really well. I mean, I wouldn't mess with the bloom or add more volumetrics. I think it's perfect. It's really spot on. It's really nice. But yeah, vignette could kind of and bright in the middle could actually sort of add a little bit more punch to it. What you could also do at the end when you finish, you could play with the film grain, which is gonna make it look a bit more cinematic. Now, film grain usually you can do it in Photoshop too with a noise layer. Film grain usually what's gonna do. Where is this thing here? This one obviously this is too strong. But and this is gonna also increase the contrast. So you gotta be careful. But it's gonna make it a bit more cinematic. Yeah, see that? It's gonna
Hmm.
like makes things a little bit less organic, or like not organic, sorry, less plastic, and makes it more organic. So you see that? But you gotta
Hmm.
be careful because it's going to be nuking some of this kind of a lovely what do you call this thing? Um, Lovely volumetrics and the fogginess of it. So you gotta be really careful with it, right? But a bit of it could add a bit of kind of like a
It breaks
texture
the
to it.
it breaks the sharpness.
Yes, it sort of makes it more organic, more like a more um, you know, see that the kind of like a noise.
Mhm.
See what I mean? It just adds a richness.
You-
There's kind of like a spice, like a bit of salt, or like a bit of sugar
mhm.
into a soup, or a bit of salt into a cake. Do you know what I mean? Like breaks the taste and sort of like brings everything together. You know what I mean? So
It's like I don't know if you recall when they started coming up with the HDA HDI I won't say HD
HDR.
HD HDR anyway, high quality image on television. You know when they started coming
Mm.
out with the big giant
Oh yeah,
screen
yeah,
and
yeah.
all that
And
stuff.
everything is in 60 frames per second and looks so plastic. And yeah, I know.
Yes, and then you would watch like a movie or whatever, and it looks so artificial. It looks like everything was made in a studio. And I was like, "What is this? This is a disaster."
It looks a bit like was
And
made in a vacuum. Like there's no atmosphere at all, right? I know what you mean
I
exactly.
know. And
The
then
same with the
it's
games, or like like maybe even when you record. When I record a video and it's in 60 frames per second, it just looks a little bit
Mhm.
weird. It needs to be like 24 or 29. It looks more, there's a bit more motion blur. I think we're used to it, especially now as we're a bit older, so we remember how it was done before. But yeah, but look, this is, I mean, this is a fantastic image. It's easily one of the best images I've seen from a community. So in years, I really, this is a very strong portfolio piece. So
Oh, thank you.
it's amazing job on this one. Seriously, like this is fantastic. I love it. I know you spend a lot of time on it. How long did it take you to actually finish it? Because I know you modeled all of this stuff.
Yes, the only thing I haven't modeled are the characters and
Mm.
those pipes on the left side. And then I got like some kit bash, and I realized that I probably used like 3% of it. It's like I figured like may as well just do it all myself kind of thing, right? So so I started approximately at the same time you started working on your first Mac. You know, you did one version first
Oh
and then
yeah.
you decided. So I actually started doing that at about the same time you started working on your first Mac
Let's see. That
in
was.
plasticity.
So I posted it probably a week later or maybe longer. So the first Mac, which is this
Yeah,
one,
that one.
was
Yes.
2 months ago. Yeah,
Yeah. So it took me about 2 months to do all that.
yeah. No, but
And yeah,
well spent, time well spent, and I guess you learn a lot of stuff on the way, right?
it was like I think it was a must learning curve that really opened me to all the possibilities that I can do in 3D. It was like breaking the ice no matter what. I was not thinking about going back or looking back. It was like I'm on the train and I'm going. Like I just did it because I wanted it and I enjoy it from beginning to end.
You know, the thing is that
It's
when you encounter a problem in a scene like this, then you have to solve it because you're midway, and there's no turning back, right? So when you want to do, this is the thing. We should be able to do what we want, not what we can do, right? So when we want to do
Mhm.
something, we don't know how to do it. We need to simply learn how to do it and move on. That this is why this was such a good experience.
Yes.
You also told me about the tools that you learned. Um, Sometimes you had to think like what tool would be the best for the job, and at the end of the project, you said that you were in you had tools. You mastered so many different tools for so many different things that you didn't have to think which tool to use and when, right?
Exactly.
Mm.
I think the some of the tools like hard ups and
Mm.
machine tools, or even mesh machine, they're a must to have a good flow, workflow.
Yeah.
Because yes, one you don't think about certain steps that would take you probably even longer to do,
Oh, impossible even,
and
yeah.
because it is like it's like a tool that is creating like solving steps in an
Mm.
instant click, and just those little things adds a lot of it, add like speed up your workflow, and I think they are very worth to have, especially if you want to dedicate yourself and have fun with 3D or modeling, you know.
And you
So
didn't even, because I don't think you needed that many tools, right? It just because
no.
eventually tools are repeating, and you're gonna find tools
Mhm.
you really like working with. Like Josh has a different set of tools and different ways of working in hard ups than I do.
Mhm.
And this is the beauty of this because you can actually flesh out your own workflow, and when you feel comfortable with it, then you can just use uh, rather simple tools that many people will think, oh wow, this is complicated because they just don't know the tool. But these tools are really simple when when you use them once or twice, it's gonna be like a muscle memory, and then you just know exactly which tool to use for what. So when you thinking about modeling something, you don't even think about what tools to use. You just simply model it, right? Which is the great fun, because you don't have to think about how to do this. You're simply making what you wanna do, right? The shape you want to
Mhm.
create, which is really how artists should work. Like this is how we like to work. Like imagine if you were making a sculpture out of clay and you have to think how to use your fingers. I mean, you know what I mean? It's the same thing. So it's an extension of your mind, and you simply use these tools with ease, and then shapes are happening.
Exactly.
So yeah.
The only thing is that also the undo button is a must. I know it comes with the software, but oh my gosh, it's a good thing we have the undo button, you know?
And I know that the inspiration, because I want to actually show the inspiration for this vessel. It was from Paul Chadesson, right?
Yes, from it's called the beggar. Is it the beggar? Bugger. Ah, I have a hard time with the name.
Hang on.
It's from
This was it. This one? No.
yes. I mean
Was it? No, no,
it's
no, 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 no. It
similar.
was the red one, I
It
think.
it's not that one. It's actually
Holy shit, he has a
the
lot of stuff.
beggar
Where is
from
it?
I won't say it. The words doesn't come to me right now. From this TV show, or it's based on a book called uh jeez. Oh,
This,
there you
this,
go.
this
There
one.
it is.
This one.
Yes. The beggar. Beggar.
Interesting.
Oh, there
Yeah,
you go. It's from the story called The Foundation.
right. So,
And I just like the shape. It's the simplest shape ever of a vessel,
mhm.
but at the same time, I just liked it. And then I figured like I cannot copy exactly what he did, but I enjoyed it so much. I said I'll do it square, you know. And
It looks brilliant, fantastic. You know, and this is how we should work from references, that we are inspired by some idea and then we make it our own, you know. So it's
Mhm,
this is how one can develop really an artistic sense and visual library. So you see one shape and then you simply kind of, you know, your head starts spinning off and creating shapes on top of that that work with your basic idea. So you're not
mhm.
copying. This is why I hate copying. People say like, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? I can, but I think it's not really teaching anything other than how to use the tools. You know, if you're gonna take
No.
blueprints and you know, eventually maybe the first time you work with blueprints you need to think and you need to learn how to do this, but once you do, it's just repeating the same shit over and over. I don't think it's a way to
It's
learn this. You know, I
mhm,
was actually watching some time ago, there's a very good course from Edon Guraziu, and Edon has a course I think he was modeling a turret in I think it was Moi. He's using Moi. Anyway, but the beginning of the course was a massive part on. He was showing how he's planning for modeling whatever he wants to model. He had a whiteboard and he was, you know, I'm not doing any of that. But what he did say, which was really stuck with me, and I agree with it completely, that the only way to learn is to work with references in a way that you look at the references, multiple ones. You look for anchors, visual anchors that going to catch your attention, say, wow, this is really inspiring, and then you run with the idea and you let your brain and other references influence the shape. And this is the best way to learn how to evolve shapes, how to build something. You know, the same way when I was recording the new course, the new Mac course, you mentioned this before, but that's, you know, this was the Mac, we were talking about the Mac I built initially, and then I
mhm.
actually built another one which is way better than this one because it's more where is it here, let me just bring it up. It's thicker, it's more military like, the cabin is less feeble, the legs are much stronger, it's a much better form and shape, and also the blockout was much stronger. So you see, like, I did it again for the course and I actually learned on top of what I've done initially, right? And this Mac
Mhm.
was inspired from a from one of my favorite Macs I've ever seen, but it was just a general shape of the, or like a theme of the head, and then the rest is completely different. So even the head is different too. Just the angle of the head. That's it. That's gonna like, and sort of like a very bulky design. That's what I liked a lot, and kind of shape, general shape of the guns. But the rest is changed. I actually, let me just pull it up here. Where is it?
But you said it well. Like you are being inspired by something in particularly, and from that point on, you evolve that inspiration from
Mm,
not. not by copying it, but you're making it your way. Like you're being inspired by it. That's it. And then you just play along with it. And like you said before, when you create something, even the fact that you're using references and stuff, you have to learn to come up with those ideas and shapes and all of those things on your own, because it allows you to think things through,
Mm-hmm.
and it allows you to be in control of what you're doing, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does make
It's
sense completely. Yeah, agreed.
and then of course, the more you know how to use tools, then you're even furthermore in control of what you're creating.
Okay, so you see that
Especially when you're,
I
yes,
know
go ahead.
exactly what you said. Exactly. This is what I mean. Like then you're in control of what you want to do. So like you imagine,
Yes.
because people imagine something or they want to do a gun or a mech or whatever, but they cannot flesh out their ideas they have in the brain
Mm-hmm.
using 3D software. The reason why they can't do that because they didn't train the brain. It's like speaking a language. That
Yes.
you can be passive in terms of knowing a language, so you can read and write, but you can't speak. Or if someone talks to you, you don't understand what they're saying because you're not
Mm-hmm.
practicing it, right? But you see, when when we as artists, right? When we see something, we get inspired, and then we take this idea and we run with it. Oh, for fuck's sake, we run with it. Then then things are happening, right? So you see, like if you look at this Mac, it's a very different um, feel to it. It's much more kind of is this the silhouette is stronger. It's
Mm-hmm.
much more military. Like this one is more like a support mech or like a mech that carries cargo, whatever. It doesn't really fit because the cabin is very feeble. This one is much stronger. The legs are way more robust. It looks more like gonna smash your face. This one is just
Mm-hmm.
weaker. So the design was changed, and I changed also a lot of things here in legs and stuff, and also the whole interior is different. So yeah, I upgraded a lot of things in the design, and it came out really really nice. But it took me a second time to go with an idea, right, and just gonna build it from scratch. But the initial design, the initial inspiration for it, I don't even know if I can find it, but let me just see here, because I want to actually show you that.
Because you also did that bird shape kind of
This is Mac
just
Interior.
just before that one raptor thing, you did like this bird shape. It kind of looks like the alien head.
Oh, this one. That was just
Yes,
for
yes,
fun.
that one.
That was fun.
Like like it felt like you were like going through an inspiration phase. You were basically experimenting.
Well, that was actually
That's what I was feeling. That's what I observed.
modeled based on a different. Oh, this one. I found it. No, no, this one. Fuck, where is it? This one? Wait a second. Let me see if I have it in here. Yeah, I got it. Okay, so this Mac was based literally on this one because I really like the shape of the head. You see that?
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Okay, yeah, so that's literally what I went with because I like this kind of idea. So I like the idea of this curved, and also I really like the design of Geth in Mass Effect. So
Okay.
if you don't know Geth in Mass Effect, I'll show you, right?
No, I don't know.
This beautiful design of these robots, right? So okay, so that's a Geth in Mass Effect. They have this kind of
Oh yeah,
like a
like
like a
humid.
like a rounded
ro-
head. See what I mean? It's beautiful.
They're so cool.
Like a hooded kind of rounded head. Yes, I really like this. Is a fantastic design. Absolutely
Oh,
brilliant.
it reminds me of this. There's this movie called is it The Valerian? It was based from a French comic book, and it's called The Valerian, and they did a movie out of it. And they have like those sentinels. And I'm sure that those guys who created those sentinels, they
Could
were inspired by
could
that character because it looks
could be
very, very similar.
and this Mac the
That
Mac.
one is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what was the reference. I mean, this is the reference for the Mac I built for the course. You see this angle
Yeah,
here, and the
I
guns
love
too, but
that.
the guns are flipped 90 degrees because I wanted them to be horizontal, not
Mhm.
vertical, right? But that's literally
Vertical.
the inspiration for the Mac, this head. I really like this kind of a simple, angled, kind of a very, very aggressive head. And that's it. That, that the rest was just, riffing. And the feet, I did take inspiration from the Hawken Mac. I thought it was by Thor Frick, but it wasn't. It was someone else. I forgot his name. I don't even know if I have it in here. Oh yeah, I do. See that was the inspiration. One of these Macs was inspiration for the feet of the Mac, right? Because I was
Mhm.
wondering what to do with the feet, and then I was looking at and multiple Macs, this Mac, right? So that was the
Mhm.
inspiration for the feet, which also look very different, but in a way, they kind of similar. So, where is this picture here? Um, this one, yeah, you see what I mean. So, the very basic shape, of the.
You kept the basic shape of the foot, but you made it more to the style you were looking
Well, I
for.
wanted this to slide because this Mac actually there is an animation. This Mac is animated, right? So if I put it in here, right? So I wanted this Mac to ride forward on the feet, so it shifts the central weight forward, so it doesn't not gonna topple backwards. So the
Mhm.
cabinet open, the ladder can pop, and the driver can get in. So the seat actually angles backwards. So when she sits, she's sitting straight. And when the Mac, lifts itself up, the seat actually rotates forward. So then it's in a straight position. So the idea
Yeah, that's cool.
behind this Mac was to create something that's going to be mechanically functional and actually quite interesting. So you're not only designing something that looks cool, but also can move and be animated. So yeah, but that was the inspiration for the Mac. So copying something is just not going to teach you anything. So this is actually very
No.
well of you did very well with this one. So you took the inspiration of the very simple forms, and you ran with your own form and shape, and actually made it angular instead of being kind of round and flowy, which fits the station, or in other way, the station fits the vessel, because I know you build the station afterwards. So you fitted the
Mhm.
station to fit the vessel. And it's also clever because the station is very angular, and it re-emphasizes the vessel, the main actor, because the main actor is a vessel, right? So it re-emphasizes the vessel. All these elements here, they just kind of, reframe the vessel, because the vessel on its own is a frame, right? It's
Yes,
squarish.
and look the name of the vessel.
Anchor, exactly. It's brilliant. Well, there you go.
Yes, you were saying it. You were saying it previously, and it stuck in my mind. And I'm like, how am I gonna call this guy? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna call it Anchor.
Anchor, that's hilarious actually, because it does anchors everything, because all these lines they play and re-emphasize the vessel, like every single line here, or the alignment of stuff, like this trolley, this truck, everything re-emphasizes the lines of the crane. Is sort of reframing this main actor, which is really cool. The same with the guy looking in, these guys walking in, so you got so many things pointing at this vessel, right? So yeah,
Hmm.
and I really like the fact that the only curvy thing, well, two curvy things in here is the planet and the door, and they also kind
Yes.
of create sort of like a semi-frame that sort of embraces this vessel too, which is really cool, right? Because it breaks the angularity of this whole image, right? These two lines, which is because except for humans, obviously the organic,
Yes.
that's the only curvy, stuff in a scene. Plus this one here, but the rest is really, and obviously the wheels, right? But the rest is really angular, which is really cool. So yeah,
I almost changed my mind to change and remove this circular round shape of doors. I was like, maybe I should just remove them and just replace them. And I was willing to do it. I had no issue with that. And then I said, you know what? Let's just keep it that way,
I
you
think it's
know?
fine. I think it's fine. I think it fits. It's fine. I don't have a problem with that at all, because it introduces a bit of an organic feeling to the whole scene. So it really softens it up, because angular angle is gonna introduce. I mean, the vertical line is gonna introduce stability. Um, Horizontal lines gonna introduce peace, and any diagonal lines gonna introduce dynamic feeling. But the um, organic soft lines, like curvy lines, they introduce softness, right? They kind of um, they not contradict, but they sort of taper the bluntness of these angular, because so many like straight angles in the scene. You need something to
Mm-hmm.
soften it up. So this is actually perfect. It's not too many of them, because if you put more of them, it will be clashing with the style. Not clashing, they kind of breaking the flavor, right? Which is fine.
Yes, it's like you say, like I had in mind, like I want the perspective to go in one direction,
Mm.
and then yes, adding like angular angles, especially like the floor, it breaks that pattern of just that one direction, and that's what makes it more interesting, more dynamic, because angular shapes breaks the pattern,
Mm.
and it gives more punch to your scene, right? And then also playing with different tone of color also emphasize and break the plain patterns,
Mm.
because you can have all the patterns in the world, but if they don't work together in harmony, it won't look great. It'll look, you'll see that everything is, something is off, you know. And I like when things have a certain logic to it, but at the same time, that logic melts all in together. You know what I mean? It's like when you're taking a picture, you want to make sure that your framing, everything, your subject, everything works in harmony. And it's that same principle in everything. Whether
Yeah,
you're painting, sculpting, you're writing a book, it doesn't matter. It has to have a solid foundation. Let's put it this way.
yeah, and these soft lines just kind of add flavor. So here too, these cables are very soft too. That's really a nice touch. And so yeah, they work. This all works very well together. So great stuff. The only thing I just noticed it now. The only thing I don't like, not crazy
Mhm.
about, is that this yellow line goes through his head. Um,
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
what you might want to do here is maybe end it here and
Sure.
keep it gray, because this I mean, it's not a big deal, but I would avoid this. I think it's gonna be better. We can actually try this.
I see what you mean. Actually, it would give a better frame.
See what I mean?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's just
Less.
because you can end it here, or even you could end it here. It's fine too.
Actually, it removes the. It takes less attention.
See what I mean? You could
It
end it
it.
here. It's fine.
Yes.
Or completely
Yeah.
remove it
It
if you want
could.
to. But what you could do is remove this one and, for example, put a light here. Because
That could.
if you put a light in here, I would put a light that's gonna be um, um, vertical, so something like this but smaller, right? Right?
Oh yes.
See what I
Oh,
mean?
that could be fun.
Or even two
Maybe a little.
lights, right? Yeah, and then bloom them, or put it a little bit lower, like somewhere here, something like that, and
Mm-hmm.
then you could get rid of this line, and it's gonna be pulling attention away. Just make sure that it's not gonna be too close to his head. You could actually put lights here, maybe, like two or something, like maybe even horizontal ones. You can play with it, but yeah, I would do something with this line. Just noticed it, and it kind of, it's a small thing, but it's sort of, I think it's gonna be better without it.
Well, it's like when you feel like you completed something and then you open it back, let's say the day after, and I'm like, oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, that's
It's
very
like
common. I would actually, when I do something complicated, because it's a very complicated scene, so there's no
it
way. Even
is.
even I didn't notice this initially, and I should have because this was pretty obvious. But it's just a lot of things to look at. And normally, when you want to look at something, when you look at an image and you want to find something that's off, what I do is I zoom it out, because then
Oh, yes.
you're not focusing on shapes, but you're focusing on contrast and colors. And if something actually is really poking your eye, then you know that you have a problem, right? Like, for example, I'll guarantee you that this will be popping up, this blue thing here. But this one might be difficult to see, but you can then zoom it in a little bit more and see if anything, bothers you at this level.
Hmm.
And this one is a little bit strong. Also, kind of comes out of the vessel in a weird angle, and maybe it'll be better if you completely removed it and just put lights here. I think it's going to be better. So the light's going to continue here, maybe two small lights here, like tiny ones. You know what? Let's actually try this. Let's see how this is going to look. It's not going to take much time to fix it. Obviously, this would need to be, at an angle here, and this would need to be fixed properly. I'm gonna do a bit of a shoddy job here,
It's
but
all right. That's good enough. Just for the what we want to do.
this should be darker, like this, right? And then nuke this one. Obviously, nuke that, nuke all of these.
Oh yeah, and those characters, they're
This,
so easy to work with.
oh,
Like it's unbelievable.
Jama
And
characters,
like
yeah? I
the
don't know. The
and the
freelance.
rigging is so well done that it was so easy for me to pause the characters.
And
I
you were
mean,
you were doing this in Mixamo, right?
no, not
No?
even. I did it
Oh,
myself. Like
wow.
I just I went like is it like control tab when you're in Blender? And then you can actually manipulate the
Hmm.
puppet, like a puppet basically. I mean, I've done that a lot in 3D,
Yeah.
in 2D animation. I know how to pose a character, so it wasn't foreign to me at all, and because it's the same principle, and yeah, it was pretty fun. So I only had to pause this guy and the one sitting in the chair in the forklift.
Oh, this one, right? You can
Hmm.
also do it in Mixamo. When I was actually designing this scene with this character walking, all I did is uploaded a pose character to Mixamo, and there was a
It's pretty cool.
there was a woman walking and talking on the phone, and this one is just standing and waiting for them. It's it, like standing pose and walking pose, and I just put them in the scene done, right? So easy peasy. And this one was just a clone of the Meg, so I just wanted to show how the one of them folds. But anyway, look at this, right? See that? Now
Much better.
compare this to, where is it? I'm gonna put them in a group. See what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, much better. I like it that way too,
It's
actually.
calmer. It
It
still
it
connects
calmer.
and it's calmer.
Yes.
And you can put two lights here, like small ones, whatever, just play with it, but I think it'll be fine. You can literally clone stamp them from this one here, it's gonna be fine. I wouldn't even overthink it. But yeah, this could be
And it
fixed.
frames better the character too. So
Yeah, yeah, it's a bit cleaner. It's a bit cleaner, but that's about it. And this line here going through, I mean, it's okay, it's fine. Um, Not ideal that it's gonna align with the finger, but honestly, no one's gonna notice it, because if you're gonna look at the image like this, you will not care. This one in the back is much more disruptive, in my opinion. This one is completely fine. So yeah, and that's about it. Yeah, so that's it. I mean, great job on this one. It's fantastic image. I really, really like it. And
thank you.
you're gonna be trying different angles.
I th- I thought of it, but I'm not sure what angle. I haven't checked
Mm.
that out yet.
Mm. Yeah, because
I
from
don't
different
know.
angle, I mean, I know that this side of the station here underneath this guy is different than the left side. Could be interesting.
Yes.
And I know that you have windows, so you could see through to space, could be interesting. But you would need to definitely build. So what you could do, you could move the servers to the other side of the building. You know, grab all this and just move it, copy it.
Oh, yes, I can flip.
Yeah, you can flip
Like,
it. You know, just move it. So just
actually, I could
what
do
you
it.
could do is you could put all this into one instance. I mean, sorry, into one collection. Make an instance of the entire interior and literally move it. You know how to
I
do
could
it?
do that.
Yeah. So you put everything in one collection, right? And
Oh,
that
you mean the whole scene
no
into
no no no
one
no no no
collection?
just the service. You know, the interior of this second floor.
Okay.
And then because it's gonna be easier to manipulate with all that, right? And I don't know why
Mhm.
Blender takes so much time to open in Windows 11. It's insane.
I don't know why it's causing that.
It's just retarded.
And it's not like there's anything open to it. It's just like fresh.
It's crazy. Anyway, so what you do is you grab this and you make a collection and you go here and you create a collection instance. And you're gonna have an instance of this collection here. So if you have multiple elements here, right, like this, and you're gonna put them into one collection. So select all of them and let's make collection 1. Then I can make an instance of this collection, you see? And whatever I do in this collection is gonna move in the other collection because it's an instance, right?
Yes.
So you can move the whole thing with decals, lights, everything, like a one piece of mesh and place it
Mhm.
whatever the hell you want. So this is, you don't have to, because you don't have to move physically the part of your scene. Just create an instance. When you're gonna
Hmm.
be shooting from different angle, just move the instance. It's so much easier to do it.
So you don't, the only thing you can't do is to transform it.
Well, you can do whatever you want with it.
No, but I mean, you cannot, like, let's say, change
You
inside
oh, you can, but you need to do it in the original collection.
on the original.
Yeah,
Yes, that's what I
it's
meant.
gonna get reflected.
Like, because the moment you change the original,
Yeah,
it'll have an effect on the collection.
unless you're going to convert it to mesh, because you can, what you can do is convert it to
Yes.
mesh, right? So select all of them and visual to mesh, and then you got mesh. I think, is it?
Hmm.
Wait a minute. Make instance real. That's the one. Now you got mesh.
Then you have
Yeah.
it independent.
So it's going to separate all the pieces as it was in here.
Correct.
So yeah, you could do either or. But yeah, it's very good. I like to use this for complicated scenes. Like for example, when I was making this render here of this Mac, this is an instance. I just simply duplicated it and moved it.
Hmm.
Because it doesn't take any memory, it's just an instance, so it doesn't take, doesn't create new geometry, doesn't duplicate maths, doesn't really
Yeah, it
cause any
doesn't
issues.
double your scene.
Yeah, but it's very light, so you could do it here too, and just move this to the other side and shoot from the other angle could be interesting. Or you could shoot from a low angle, like for example, someone is walking or standing or talking, and shoot from his feet up could be also interesting. So someone is standing here on the left hand side of these cargo crates, and you shoot upwards the scene. So you
Hmm.
would need to probably move stuff around, which is I would suggest either creating another scene in Blender or
Probably, yeah.
just creating a new,
Because when you, let's say you flip that angle, you do like 180 horizontal, it might not necessarily work, you
Yeah,
know.
you might need to
Just
readjust a few humans probably because this is set to this specific scene, right? Every time
exactly.
you render something, you need to set it to a specific scene. So you might need to move lights, objects, people, etc. It could take a bit of time to do that,
Mhm.
but
And the planet, I won't be able to see it. Like I'm probably gonna see just a little bit of the fading of the planet, but that would be it. So
you can always move it
it's,
as well, or you could
oh yes,
remember
because
that
it doesn't have to be exactly how it looks
it's a
like
station, so
from that.
it's a station, right? So it moves on an orbit, so the planet's going to
Hmm,
change position relatively to the station position. So
exactly.
I mean the
It's
other
like
way
two
around.
hours later.
Yeah, just whatever. So, or you can put some other planets in the corner, doesn't matter. But
Yes.
could be interesting. But in any case, this definitely is a fantastic render. And What you could also do, and I would suggest you do that, is to render a freestyle render, which is basically white. All the elements gonna be white, and you're gonna be seeing just the lines and and edges, because this will actually show that everything is modeled.
Oh, I see. Like, how do I render that?
You just it's really simple. You just Google freestyle render, and you can do it in,
Freestyle render.
yeah, you can
Okay.
do it in Blender. It's really easy. Um, you just have
I'll
to
chat
set a,
GPT it.
yeah, just set a few things in render, and there's something called freestyle render, and you just have to follow the set. I never remember what settings they are, but it's here under render tab. Um, I don't do it on a daily basis, so I don't remember the settings, but it's here under render. Where is it? Wait, let's go to render. Where the hell was it? This one, freestyle. So you turn it on, and you have to set a few things in cycles,
Okay.
and in basically what's gonna happen, it will render like everything gonna be white, and you gotta get these dark edges, and you
Okay.
can change color of the edges, intensity or whatever. But it's really cool, and it's going to showcase that everything in here is actually geometry, which is really cool.
Kind of like what your not your raptor, but your mech there. It's that little clip you showed me earlier.
Yeah,
It
well,
starts.
yes, but that was actually viewport rendered. It's different.
Oh, okay, because I like the transition between viewport to the total render of your image. I think it's pretty cool. I like that.
Oh, that was just done in a viewport. So you can just do a viewport render animation and then switch it to a regular. So I kind of overlay them and create a transition. But what I'm
Mhm.
talking about is different. He's gonna actually look at render, with light and everything. So the lighting is gonna be the same, but it will all be
Everything is white.
white with, yeah, like it kind of looks like a bit like a engineer's sketch. It's really awesome. But what it will
Hmm.
do, it will actually showcase that. I think Michael has something here in his art station. Let me just Michael Oberschneider, the guy I was having a podcast with.
I think I know what you're referring to.
He
Everything is it's the same thing except that like there's no colors, just white and there's the lighting and
Yeah,
everything.
pretty much. See, like something like this, but this is but with the lines. It looks really cool because it showcases that
Hmm.
whatever you rendered, it's actually real, which is awesome,
Hmm.
right? So he actually has a proper background that's actually geometry. It's insane. So it's not bullshit, some AI generated nonsense. It's actually real stuff, and all the textures
Hmm.
are gone obviously, but you're seeing the outline of the vessel and all the stuff, right? So
That looks so good.
I know, right? So
Oh,
see
like
that?
that one.
See
Go
that?
back. Go back. Yes, yes.
Beautiful, right?
No, back. Go back. That one. That one is so cool. I like the clouds. Look, it's like shh.
Yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, this is what I'm talking about with lines. So you can actually, or without lines, up to you how you're gonna do it. But this is what I would
Hmm.
do. So it showcases that this is actually geometry, right?
Yes, I see
I
what you mean.
think
It is
it's
beautiful.
yeah, I think it's great. So yeah.
Oh, and yes, I was inspired to by Star Citizen in that scene.
Well, that game is insane. Insane. I got so many screenshots from you should actually get the game and like walk inside. It's not expensive. It's like $45 the starter. But you can when you walk inside of that game, it's a very different experience from actually looking at screenshots because you can turn around and you can actually get close to elements and sort of examine them and you can get inside of the vessels. It's quite an experience because it really feels real. This
Okay.
this game is
Yeah.
absolutely mental. I mean, it's not really much of a game because the gameplay, in my opinion, is boring as fuck. But unless they're going to release this single player they were talking about since 1975, but the design I think is the best in the world in terms of sci-fi. Like this, I don't know any better design than this. It's just insane. especially when you like look closer on, you land on a random roof of a building and it's just detailed, like it's just madness, and broomsticks, buckets, everything is just, it's just crazy, right? So when you land on a station, you can spend a day walking around just admiring shit because it's so crazy. And the vessels, especially larger vessels, are just bonkers, and you can get into vessel, like um there are what do you call this thing, places where they sell vessels, so you can get inside of the vessel and just walk around and look at them outside, inside, whatever, and see how they look. So yeah.
Huh.
um
I'm on the Star Citizen page right now. It's pretty cool.
yeah, so it's
It's
a very good inspiration, and sometimes even looking at this stuff can kind of start rewiring your brain towards the um right way of doing things, because these guys really know what the fuck they're doing. It's like the apex
yeah.
apex predators of the sci-fi design, in my opinion. Amazing.
It is very it would be nice to work with guys like that. I always had a good kick of working with guys that are super like geeky. Like
Mm.
they're just like they're in their zone and it's just fun to see them doing, you know.
I mean, they're very good at what they're doing, and they're excellent at design. They're very sophisticated, the visual libraries. So yeah, I mean, depends. The older designs are okay, but not as great as the newer, but the newer ones are fucking mental. So, all these new ships that are coming up, they're just crazy. The amount of work that went into it is just really outstanding, like insane. And a month of work for several people. So,
Yeah,
um,
no doubt. It's you like there's like this image of it's like a down shot of the a planet and there's like a station orbiting on top of it and it looks so awesome. It looks like fantastic.
yeah, so you
But
can you can get in the station, you can walk around, and you can spend some time over there, and you can fly in between places. That's what I did. And I was going to small stations, large stations, planets, whatever, and I was just screenshotting the shit out of this game. I don't know how many screenshots I have, like 70 gigs of screenshots. I got like thousands of them. I got like 3,000 screenshots just from the exhibition. So there are
wow.
insanely huge files, and just looking at this stuff, it just makes your head spin. But then you can, for example, look at stuff like, how is it designed in terms of mechanical design, so like a landing gear, because it's all functional, how these vessels actually fold, because a lot of vessels are folding wings and stuff and moving parts. And then you got like, forklifts and whatnot, and all kinds of designs everywhere. And and you can just look at the doors and stuff and how they close and open, and then you got the chairs inside of vessels and how they operate and how they move. So it's all functional, right? So it's there's a lot to study over there. It's kind of like a university on its own. So I would really recommend to anyone, get this goddamn game and just actually walk inside of the game. Because for $45 you can actually create an insanely rich, visual library for yourself.
I see exactly what you mean.
Yeah, just walk
It's
around and screenshot whatever the hell you want to screenshot, because it's just gonna stay on your hard drive. You don't have to go back in the game anymore, and just go to it's like spend a few days just flying to different places, and I guarantee you're gonna love it, because I was landing on some stations like, what the fuck, man, this is insane, and just walking around and gaping at shit, because it's so good.
I
So,
can
and you
yes, I
stand there like
can.
thinking like, how the fuck is this even possible to design something so complex? I mean, how much? I know they keep bashing as well, obviously, because you need to, but still, someone had to model at some point.
Well, just that video that you did with Michael
Mm.
when he's talking about his Terran vehicle there, like rogue vehicle or whatever that is,
Yeah.
and he's talking like how like it takes him few maybe like I don't know like 3 4 months just
Oh.
to build that
Oh
one
yeah.
vehicle,
Yeah.
but like it's not fast food
No.
creation here. It's like
No.
he has to start and do everything from scratch. Even if he grabs little things such as uh, like Kit Bash, overall he did all the work, just like you do with your mech. You started from the beginning to end. It takes the time that you need to think things through. You need to think about every aspect of it. And
That's correct.
and
We're
then
gonna be actually talking about this vessel in. I think we're gonna record one more video with this one because this one's really cool. The bounty
it
hunter.
is cool.
Yeah, and so I want to talk about interior a lot as well because designing exterior is one thing, but they also design interiors, which is why I'm pushing interiors in courses now because I think it's really important to think about it as well because you're gonna make you a
Yes.
better designer, and you will have to think about proportions, scale, size,
Mhm.
placement. Everything is so essential. So
Yes.
it just adds complexity, but also builds more robust skill set on top of just designing the outer shell, right? So yeah, but if you look at this, at this page here, how detailed this is, how much thought went into it is just crazy.
Yes.
These guys are on another level. So yeah, studying this stuff is just on its own. It's just a university. So yeah, I would just get the game, and honestly, I spent probably 2 or 3 or more 4 weeks just literally flying around and screenshotting the hell out of it. I remember that there was an exhibition. There's every year there's an exhibition over there for like 2 weeks. I spent every day for like several hours just running around and just looking at stuff, screenshotting stuff, inside, outside, like every single fucking vessel because it's just so much of so many different themes and ideas, and like they have different station, different planets, and they just have different feel. Like one of them is modern, one of them is kind of rugged down, like in like a miners colony, or like really posh, kind of like a very sophisticated and kind of clean station, kind of on a Mass Effect side. So different designs, very different, dramatically different designs in different areas, and different ship designs too, which follow kind of a theme, of a manufacturer, right? So you can kind of
Hmm.
start learning how to stay within a consistent design of one vessel or series of vessels, right? Like you can start recognizing, guns or like landing gears or like shapes or like elements that kind of repeat in different vessels and are used in a different way. It's all working for developing your visual library in kind of this muscle in the head that's going to help you create shit like this, because um, it would be impossible to create this kind of a station without any experience, artistic experience, and you have experience, vast experience from 2D world, and you're bringing it into 3D world right now. So
Hmm.
it shows because
It's
a novice would not be able to pull this off. It takes
no,
time
no.
to
You like. I mean,
right.
I have skills in props, and I have skills in layout and location
Yeah,
design. So
yeah,
working with perspective and all that stuff is there, but it's also like you say, like the visual library. It takes time
yeah.
to build that up, and it takes time to apply it.
And without
And it's
practicing, it's impossible to learn it. And that's the way to practice it. You look at stuff, you think, oh, I like this bit. Let me build something around. It's like getting carrots and cooking soup out of it. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing. Or making a cake,
yes,
whatever. So you're not just multiplying carrots. You actually make something out of it, right? So you get inspired or like using these ingredients, like visual ingredients, to create something that you really want. And creating
mhm.
something that exists, it's not really art. It's just bullshit. It's just showcasing that you know how to use tools. That doesn't impress me at all. What impresses me is if
No,
someone takes something, some inspiration from another artist or nature, and they build something out of this. That's impressive because it's actually creative. That's what creativity is for me, right?
yes,
So
it's
yeah.
you can creativity is it's either you have it or you don't, and it sometimes it takes time, but the time that it's practice, and you can have many talents, but even when you have talents, you still have to practice your discipline. So it you know,
Yeah,
it comes with
yeah,
practice
yeah.
and
So
maturity too.
yeah, so look at this. Like for example, this plasticity ship, right? The course. So we had the guy. Look at this. That's what I'm talking about, right? He took this guy's one of my. I think it's one of the best iterations, if not the best, of this ship I've made. So he took
Hmm.
this ship in plasticity, which I've created for
Yeah,
the
it looks
course,
great.
and he literally went with this, which is brilliant. That's what I'm
Hmm.
talking. So he took elements from the ship, like the vents and but and the wings are kind of similar. But honestly, the rest is just changed to whatever his brain was telling him to do. So the elements
Hmm.
from the ship, like the side of the wings, the extendable areas here, he doubled the fins and he got the intakes, but the rest is just completely different. And that is what I'm talking about in terms of that's how people should work. That is amazing for me, right?
Yeah, he pushed it. He went beyond what you were doing. He
Mm.
adapted it to yeah.
And
I
that includes the
it takes
cabin. I mean, look
skills.
at the cabin. It's completely different too. It's brilliant.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a lot of work, and it's really amazing. So I was amazed when I saw. It's like, holy shit, that's really fucking sick. And he spent a lot of time on this one too, because it took way more time than you can't just run a 150 hours course because no one's gonna be able to finish it.
No,
But that probably
because
took a long time.
when you're doing like a cockpit like that, like you were saying, you want to make a video about inside interior design and outside. It's like it has to fit. It has to have a logic to it,
Hmm.
but it has to be functional.
Yes.
And it has to it can't just be visually appealing. It has to be functional.
Mm,
And
mm.
then and it takes the time you need to figure that out. Yeah, because you have to put time to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. So this is this is what I admire when I see something like this. I go like, I see people doing the the accelerator course or any other course, and they kind of run with their own ideas. That's what I want to see, because that tells me that this person is actually evolving, right? They're not repeating what you've done. They're evolving because they get inspired by what you've created, and they run with it. So kind of
Yes.
growing with the project, which is exactly how it should be, right? But most of these people have a experience in art, because you can tell. I mean, that there's no way that a new person to 3D could do this, right? There's just no way. Obviously they have experience in art, uh, because
Hmm.
they have a build up to do this. You need to have a kind of robust visual library. But to get to this level, that's what you need to start doing, right? Which is why I really like this vessel being kind of pushed beyond what Paul did, way beyond. It's unrecognizable basically, but when you put them together, it was an inspiration. See, that's exactly what you want to do, right? So the same
Correct.
thing I did with the Mac. I just like I showed you, I grabbed this basic idea of the Mac, from internet, and the two angles of the face and the guns, and I was like, holy shit, this is really cool. I like the aggressive cuts on it, and that inspired also all the planar shifts on the model. So it went beyond that cabin, and that's how it was. How the Mac came to be. So that's how people should work, in my opinion. That's how everyone should work, because that's the only way to grow. And
Hmm.
Edon Gurazius did the same thing in his course. This is why I remember this, and it was completely right, spot on. Never repeat what you fucking seen, because you will not really improve. Okay, it's much easier to do it this way, because you don't have to think about proportions, scale, especially when you're working from blueprints. That's just bullshit, right? Unless you're working for a car
Well,
car
yeah.
company and you have to do it, fair enough. But honestly, it
Hmm.
will not help you to become a better artist. I don't think so, right? You have
No,
to,
because
push it.
you don't learn to create the shape on your own. You're constantly using shape that already been created,
Yeah.
and you that's all you do. You just you copy what you never actually originally did it for yourself. It's like
It's like swimming with the
you,
support, like swimming with the
mhm.
with the wheel, like some inflatables, right? It's just, you're not swimming. You know,
No.
you're just moving your arms, but that's not really swimming. Swimming is when you have no support. You have to maintain your body, hold your body above the water level. That's when you're swimming, right? Without any support. That's what I want them to you know, what I want to see them to do.
Yeah, you're not creating with a lifeline support, you know?
So when I see like people, you know,
Yeah.
I appreciate that they're getting the courses they're learning because they're sure they're learning. But when I see
Mhm.
someone running through 5 courses and repeating the same shit and putting this on the portfolio, they're not improving. They're not improving because they're doing the, you know, they're repeating. They feel good about themselves doing something, but it's not really improving. You have to get scared. You have to get terrified. You have to get intimidated because without this intimidation of holy shit, what am I gonna do now? Like when I'm gonna go with this shape, I don't know. Well, go and look for some references. Like when I was making the mech, I got stuck multiple times,
Mhm.
right?
Of course, that's
And
part of the
like
game.
what am I gonna do with the feet? I had no idea, so I went in on internet and I was looking all of my references. I was looking for something to get inspired and to make it, you know, some shapes they're gonna fit in terms of design and gonna fit in terms of the whole, you know, theme, but they're gonna be kind of like an anchor for what I want to go with. You know, I needed inspiration basically, right? So I found it and I was, oh shit, maybe I'm gonna go with this one. Tried it, tried different approaches. It worked, you know, and then I, you know, and I was good. But that's how, you know, that's how it is, right? So just
Yes.
like you write a book, you know, you don't have enough information. You go online or read other books to get more information, so you can write something with your own thoughts, right?
Yes.
Your own sort of like a input on this on the subject, right? You're not repeating what someone else said, but you add to it
No.
after you thought about it, after you read enough to have some conclusions. And this is the same thing. You watch enough of art in order to have your own conclusions and say, this is the way I want to go, that's what I want to build. And then
Mhm.
eventually, you know, you're gonna be able to stay within the style, within the, you know, proportions, design, etc. And that's how you get to the level when you can create a scene like this, you know, the one you made. So it's not
Mhm.
gonna happen in one day, but you know, the good things
No.
don't come in one day. You just, you know, how many years you've been working as an artist, by the way?
Since I was born.
Well, there you
No,
go.
but I mean, I was always drawing, always I was always in art, no
Mm-hmm.
matter what. And my first gig as an artist in the
Uh-huh.
animation industry, I was 16 years old.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, I was a bit privileged because I had an uncle. He still is working in the animation, and he gave me my first gig,
That's
and
nice.
it hasn't stopped ever since then. I mean, in that sense of things. But there was a point where I said to myself, okay, I'm glad I have my uncle,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want to be associated to him
Right.
as an individual.
Mm.
And then I wanted to be my I wanted to like I want to be hired because I am me, not because I am my uncle's niece.
Right.
Because it was annoying. People would say, "Well, it's easy for you. You get a job." And I'm like, "No, that's not how it works." My uncle was so hard on me that it was probably harder on me than any employee that he had.
That's because he
So,
really cared about you and cared about your progress, you see. That's
yes,
why, you
do
know,
you know how
like
many
when I
times
tell people, you know, uh, I mean, folks usually got used to the way I speak, so I'm very direct. But if I actually going to criticize you hard, it's because I actually see a potential. So if I'm gonna go to town on a render or something, is because I actually care, because I can see the potential and I can see that someone is actually putting in effort, and then I don't mind putting in my time, personal time, to help people because I can see that they really can go places, right? You know, but if someone is lazy and so many people just, you know, get a course and don't even finish it, and then complain that they don't know how to do shit. I mean, duh, dude, you gotta put the hours in,
well,
you
I
know.
mean, what you put is what you get, you know?
That's it, you know. And these kids these days are used to fucking having everything, you know, done in 2 minutes, which good luck to you. It's not, and it's really a reward. This is the fact, you know, because if you're really an artist, right, like really at heart, it's very rewarding to create something that looks really nice and you know you're like proud of it, right? That's the key, and I think that's a reward on itself. And then obviously, if you're getting better and better, then you can make money with it. But you can't make money if you're not gonna get better, because people are not gonna hire someone who cannot really help, because people don't give a shit about you. They care about their business. So if you can help their
Mhm.
business, they're gonna hire you. So if you're gonna get good to a degree when you can help someone push their big, improve, build the game or whatever, then they're gonna, you're gonna get hired, because you are actually an asset to the project,
Mhm.
right? So if you're an asset
Yes.
to the project and you keep evolving, you don't have to worry about competition, because the competition gonna get smoked by your progress. This is, for example, why we don't have competition on the hard surface courses market for Blender, and probably very soon Plasticity either, because no one is making them, because no one is actually making courses continuously. They make 1 or 2 courses and they stop. We've made like how
Mhm.
many? Over 40. So there's no one
Mhm.
coming near, never even close to what we've produced. But that's because we consistently niche down and focus on one thing for years, 6 years
Well,
now,
I
right?
think that's the key. It's like, I mean, I think when you're starting to pull satisfaction of what you're doing,
Yeah,
despite the fact that it takes you that much energy or time to create them, you're pulling satisfaction out of it and
yeah,
you're enjoying it no matter how or what. And then you're always seeking for something new. Sometimes you could do like like the same thing over and over, but there's a point where it'll be like, you know what, it's time to push, to
mm-hmm,
go even further and how far you can go.
mm-hmm.
And sky is not the limit. You are creating your own limits, and there are people that they're not even aware that they can go further than that. Like some people are just satisfied with that, and that's it, and that's their thing.
Yeah.
Me, I like to push. I like to excel. I like to rise, you know, and uh
And that's
and
why you
not
can make this.
limit myself.
And that's why you're able to make stuff like this, and that's exactly what it is. So I'm the same, so if we have a problem or to solve with Josh, or like, I got some problem with modeling, whatever, it's a problem that needs to be solved. The challenge is, it's a food for another day. And if you're gonna treat it like this, then great. And if you don't, that means maybe it's something you're not supposed to be doing, because some people are forcing themselves into something because they like, oh, I should be doing this because maybe it's gonna be a good money maker. You're never gonna be happy like this. You're never gonna be good at that, because you will simply have a wrong motivation. The motivation should be coming from inside, from, willing. It's kind of like a inner fire that you want to just create something sick, right? And
Hmm.
if you don't have that, I just don't think it's gonna work, because this is
Yeah.
this is a
Well,
long
if you
journey.
have a, yeah, because I mean, if you have, what are your motive? Do you have an agenda, or you're just gonna stick and be genuine to yourself?
Mm, mm,
Like you just want to become like a money maker product,
mm.
and like there's different avenue, but I think the artists that do excel the most, like, and I don't want to categorize anything or anyone, but I think it's like, if that's really what you want, and you're really self-disciplined, but you're also captivated and motivated to do those things, you'll go far,
Mm.
no matter what you're doing. And you're not looking. One thing too is I try to stay as genuine as possible, try to rely on myself as much as possible. Even if I do have help, I have help from you, but I still always remain to myself that I need to know and I need to figure it out on my own to some extent,
That's so
because you
important.
you will you will progress more that way than always having to rely on somebody else's.
It's just funny, like we had this, we're running ads now to this new course to jumpstart, and we have so many retarded, like, stupid comments. It's just fucking unbelievable. People are so fucking lazy, it actually annoys me. Like, there are people asking questions like, something about, does it come with Blender license, the course? It's like, dude, fucking Google this shit. Are you retarded,
There's
Like,
no desire.
how,
Like they,
oh, hey,
those
Leon.
people don't have
How
desire.
Hi,
how
Leon.
fucking you sneaked up on us?
Hello.
How fucking lazy do you have to fucking be to ask a stupid question like this? Do you know what I mean? I just, I can't with these people. Or asking something like, there's a guy who's been asking a question for a week now. Can you import STL files into Blender and change them? It's like, dude, to fucking Google this shit.
Bro,
Like, are you
not
waiting
even
a week
Google.
for a fucking answer on
ChatGPT
Facebook? Are you retarded? You know, I just want to. It makes me fucking angry because he's so goddamn lazy. It's unbelievable, you know. So these people are fucking not gonna make it. It's an NGMI
But
kind of breed of
are
people.
those real people or are they just trolls?
I don't know, man, but it's just fucking. And it's like, oh, I want to buy the course, but I haven't had an answer to my question. I said, to fucking Google this shit. It's like,
Yeah,
you got
it's
fucking ChatGPT, you got fucking Google with AI. I mean, how fucking lazy do you have to fucking be? It actually fucking annoys me, you know. So if that was my
actually,
kid, they would have a rough time,
yeah.
bro. Like, they would be outside in the fucking street trying to make it on their own because they fuck off and fucking try it. Because if you think it's easy, let's go, bitch. You know what I mean? Because, you know, my father was tough on me too, you know, like, in a way that he said, you know, I was taught to solve my own problems. If you have a problem, you do the best to solve it on your own. Obviously, you need to look for solutions. Like, you know, if there's a course helping you to do that, like whether we
Or
struggle
like
with business
feedback?
or whatever, we just get a course to learn it. But you need to put in the work. But if you know, with all these
Yes.
tools now, like GPT, Google, and all this shit, and all the knowledge on YouTube, it's fucking 10 seconds to Google this shit, right? And you're waiting for a week for an answer. I mean, even God will not help you with this shit. You know what I mean? Like, even Buddha says, fuck this shit, man, this guy is lost. You know, and there's a lot of people like this, not just one or two. It's like multiple people a day, right?
Holy
So, and
shit.
they're wondering why they cannot fucking make it. Why they, you know, like people saying, oh, I would like to buy it, but I'm broke. It's like, bro, if you can't afford $5 for a fucking course, you got bigger problems.
Oh, but they're gonna spend every day going and buy $10 coffee, you know? It's like
Fucking retards, man. I mean,
I
I
know.
can't with this fucking. I know it's a generation or what it is. It's something in the food. It's carbs. I don't know what the fuck it is, but these people are fucking lost. And there's a handful of people, you know, that actually does something, and they just keep quiet and just keep studying and keep improving. And this is the only, you know, 1% that's gonna actually. That's why 1% makes it and 99% don't. Because they wait for
Is
Yeah.
it
handouts, they wait
part
for
of
easy way, they
like
wait for other people to solve their
style?
problems, and they blame everyone but themselves for their situation, and they blame circumstances for whatever the fuck, you know, is happening to them. Instead of blaming themselves, taking responsibility, taking the ownership of the situation, fucking changing it, they
Yeah.
blame everyone around. It's like, I can't with this shit, man.
It's a common virus.
Unreal, man. It's like, I just want to
The
fucking
world is
walk,
so
walk around
cruel.
in the houses and slap them, do you know what I mean, to wake them the fuck up. And this is something with the parenting, because back in the day, you know, when I fucked up, I was scared of my father, because, you know, there would be a low one swinging, you know what I mean, if you fucked
Yeah.
up properly. And these days, you know,
Mhm.
parents apologize, you know, to kids and ask, oh, this happened, maybe you would like an ice cream. The fuck is this? This is not parenting, this is bullshit. You know, that's what makes people so
Because
fucking weak.
Easy times create weak men.
Yeah, the weak men create hard times, and I think they are coming, so, you know, it's gonna be fun.
I don't know.
These
I
guys
also
all
it's
have
just
to read Nietzsche, I think.
Well, this guy is...
I it's more than that. Is people are not taking for granted that life you need to put the work in life. You need to be like you say, Ryuu, you have to be accountable for everything you do. You have to be the ownership of your own reality and choices.
Yeah.
And you cannot expect and blame others because you're unhappy and unsatisfied with yourself. Because nobody will do it for you.
It's like playing a game with
The
cheat
only
codes, you know, like playing a game with cheat codes. Like you finish the game, but you're adding yourself gold or like lowering the level or what. So what the fuck is this?
Mhm.
What's the point of doing it? You haven't
Yes,
beaten anything. You know,
exactly.
your own character, you know, actually won over you, because you just, you know, you gave in because the
Mhm.
challenge was too
You don't
much.
want to put the effort in.
Yeah, and the challenge was too much, and you simply said, you know, well, let's cheat because I can.
And
So
Exactly.
it's not so satisfying. That journey is not satisfying to me.
and it's not
You just
exactly, it's not satisfying at all. And then, you know, but a lot of people do that to pretend that they, you know, it's like so many people buy courses, but they're not really doing anything about, they don't go through courses, they just buy them to feel good about themselves trying to do something towards their goal. They're literally lying to themselves, and they think
dopamine.
that and then they or like look for very quick wins, like very, I don't know, something very, very simple and very easy, and they can just put it on a shelf and they're, oh, okay, look, I've done that. It's like, dude.
But that's a quick fix, and it doesn't lead anywhere.
If you've done something and you walk around it like around some kind of a grand prize, and reminisce every day what you've done instead of actually doing another thing the next day, then you're not gonna progress, okay? Because the whole thing about progression is that the best way to progress is to just forget the fucking rewards. The rewards is the fucking part.
Yes. No expectation.
Focus on improving, on getting better, on learning shit. That's where the fun is, right? Because you can tackle more and more complex problems, and the challenge is actually going up. That's the reward, right? But when you're going to fucking sit there on laurels and just admire your own fucking prize because you finished one bot in 3 hours, the fuck is this shit? You haven't even started yet, mate. Do you know what I mean? And these people will not make it. They will not fucking make it.
Yeah, I think that's something I actually learned over the years, is that it's one thing to complete and finish something, and then you want to show it to everyone and all that stuff. And then at some point in time, I was like, why am I doing that? Like, it's fun to share, but what is it going to bring me back? And then I was like, why am I sharing those things? And then I realized that I don't have to share anything.
I mean, artists like doing it, though.
But I will share it because, one, I want to share my my skills and abilities. I mean, because I do have certain purpose. Like I want to get the job. I want to, I want to be able to perform that way. But at the same time, I'm not doing this as a attention seeker. Like it's like I want to sell a car. I'm not gonna hide the car. I have to show it to the public. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Plus, you might get some feedback on top of it. And artists, I mean, we like showing stuff that we've done because we do it to share with people, because that's what artists do, to improve the reality and the surroundings, right? Because that's what we do. But what I'm saying is, like, sitting on it and kind of for like 2 to 3 months and just keep sharing the same shit, that just doesn't really make any sense, because you're not improving. And I think that the best way to share something is share the growth of skill. Like you just tackling more and more complex stuff, or more and more complex issues and subjects, and or just gain skill that you can share with other people. Like like whenever I do a course, then I always learn something new, and I try to introduce some new stuff into it, and different angles and whatever, because I think it's fun. And
yes, because you're sharing your progress, but you're also sharing your passion, and you're sharing the things that that somehow, somewhere, it will attract someone to do more, to do better, or whatever. It's attract the same mindset.
Yeah, like I said, doing it for people who are actually gonna take it and do something else with it, which is literally what I'm looking for. I'm looking always for these renders which I know what course, whatever it came from, but they're different. And people do it from YouTube videos, people take stuff from courses, and they just run with it, and this is fantastic. This is literally what I want to see. So they take one thing and they just create something really cool out of this, and this is really awesome, because it's inspiring for me as well. Because I look at it, it's like, shit, I never thought about this vessel from this angle. This is really awesome, right? And that kind of pushes my head or my mind going further and just juggling other shapes, and maybe I'm gonna create something else out of this on top of that. So this is kind of like a mutual kind of exchange of knowledge and this experience between artists, and I think it's fantastic. Which is why it's kind of funny for me, like, people come in and say, oh, AI this, AI this. I said, dude, just use this fucking thing as an inspiration, okay? Just learn how to use different tools differently instead of fucking moaning about it. They think that they can,
I think it's about all these artists solving.
Yeah, like all these people no AI, created with no AI. I mean, who gives a fuck if it's no AI or AI? It doesn't matter. If it's cool and original, that's fine. You know, if you get
Mhm.
inspired by AI and you get some ideas from it, that's great. That's how you should be working. It's a fucking tool. But you know, don't
Oh
repeat
yeah,
what
I
the AI
used
said or
to.
just post AI image as your own because that's just retarded, right? But
Mm.
if you're going to, you know, go on AI, run some prompts and run some ideas through AI, just like I created the base idea for the ship was a combination of a lot of references and AI images and Photoshop painting over. So eventually we kind of arrived at the idea that we wanted. I was doing it actually with Dustin, with the capitalist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it took us like 2
How is he
hours, you know, to play with it.
how is he doing, by the way? He
I don't
was
know. I
not
haven't
that
heard from
active.
him in a long time.
Mm.
But and the same thing for the truck for the hard ups. I you know, of course, I was kind of I knew what I wanted. I wanted like a heavy, you know, snow plowing Russian like, you know, military truck, like a really heavy, massive, huge. And I
Mhm.
just play with the ideas to a degree until I got something, you know, painting over and stuff and combining all these ideas together. So yeah, you know, use any tools for creativity you can. Doesn't matter if it's a game, screenshots, other people's work. It doesn't fucking matter. Clouds on the sky. It doesn't matter. You know,
Mhm.
inspiration comes from anything, right? And limiting it because, oh, it's AI. I don't give a shit where it came from. You know, because that's not how we
Yeah,
think.
but it's like I think it'll go along with what you're saying. Is like this is something I realized with by using ChatGPT is that
Yeah.
the more you're in control of your prompt, the more you think things through, the more you down like you go exactly where you what you want,
Yeah.
and you're really describing the what you need, etc.
Mm.
Like it's like you're adapting
Basically,
the AI
your
to work for you. It's like you're
yeah.
so you're basically down say seizing what exactly that you want, and once you're satisfied with it, you're gonna get like certain result that works with you, and
Yeah.
from there you can use that and move on with what you're doing.
Mm.
So it's a tool, and I think you need to be smart on how to use it
Mm.
because it's not there to replace you or anything like that. It's there to help you, like any tools.
I
It
Also,
don't
doesn't.
get why most people don't get that about this AI gonna take our jobs or whatever, and they don't see it as a tool they could actually use to be more productive or whatsoever.
Well, because they're closing their mind to the
I mean, they're
possibilities,
scared,
or
you know.
they're
They're scared. They're terrified because it might
yeah.
take their job. But listen, if it's gonna take your job, I mean, it's gonna happen. Then it's gonna happen. Then you're gonna have to fucking think what to do next. So this is the thing.
But
Like, if
most
you,
people are those people that cry about it and they don't have a job but want to have a job.
well,
But they're
So
exactly.
motivated
I
by
don't understand
fear.
those ones.
Well, the thing is that look, if something's going to or someone's going to replace your job, then you simply are not good enough at your job, or you
Yeah,
didn't
you have
think
to be
about
better
what to
or
do
more
next. I mean,
productive.
we
Yeah,
always think what to do
yeah.
next in a business, or you know, in whatever we do, because you cannot just be stagnant. Because if you're stagnant, you're gonna get
Mm.
replaced. Doesn't matter what you do, you need to keep evolving, right? So, um, the reason why these people are terrified because they just lazy and they don't want to fucking improve. And this goes back to the 99% who are not gonna fucking make it because their mindset is fucked up. If your mindset is fucked up, good luck doing anything.
Well, that's what it is to be motivated by fear.
Yeah, well, they're not even motivated by fear. They kind of immobilized by fear because they're scared
Yeah, they
and they
are
want to
stuck
put
by
the
it.
genie back in a bottle. You know, just let's pretend AI doesn't exist, which it does, and no one's gonna be putting it back in a bottle. Good luck with that. So if you think your little protest can fucking do anything against all that money that's been pumped into it, it's not gonna happen. So what's the solution? Well,
Mm.
start fucking using it as soon as possible because it's out there and everyone is using it. So your competition is doing what you are against. It's so fucking
That,
stupid
that's
that
that's actually the case in my school at the moment. There's one side of students that say, "No, I won't use AI for drawing or storyboarding or whatever," and
it's
then there's our
fucking dumb.
teacher, and our teacher says, "Hey, you can use whatever tool you want.
It's a
You
good
can use
teacher. That's a
ChatGPT,
good teacher.
whatever. What gets your idea out?
Yeah,
What
and
gets
that's a
your
good teacher.
yeah?"
because
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
like
matter.
back in the days we would go to the library and make our own research.
It's a tool. It's a fucking tool.
Yeah. It's like Google is like AI is like Google on steroid. I mean, it's just it's all there. I mean, you don't need to go to the library anymore. Everything
You
is
just have to
there.
ask the right questions, right?
Yes, that's why you need to think things through.
And that goes back to the guy who's asking about STL files on Facebook for 1 week, waiting for an answer so he can buy the $5 course. Bro, like, it's just I can't. I cannot even imagine how can you be so fucking stupid. This is my imagination doesn't go that low. You know what I mean? Like, I cannot imagine that level of retardation. It's just I can't. It's just unimaginable for me. How can you be so fucking retarded? But anyway, that's a digression. But, right, guys.
Everyone has their own level.
For me, this is unbelievable. Just unbelievable. How can you be so fucking lazy? You know, it's like I can't. With
Don't worry. It's not your concern.
It's just too much, man. Too much. But yeah, but I have to deal with it.
It's just noise, you know.
I know. We usually just fucking block their asses because I can't deal with this level of stupidity. But you get these people here and there, complaining and they usually are unhappy about their own life. They don't know what's going on. They want to offload the responsibilities to other people or other, I don't know, blame circumstances for their fucking situation. And instead of, saying, well, maybe I should actually do something, you know what I mean?
What can I do about it? Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up because I need to eat. But that was fantastic. Listen, Judith, this is brilliant. And I really like it.
Thank you.
I just think it's amazing.
A nice concept.
Thank you.
Work.
Yeah, this is really good. Next time is you, Leon, yeah? How is your vessel progressing? Your ship?
Have you seen the new one, or you mean the older one?
Well, I mean, you showed me the copter, so yeah, I saw the copter. The design was really cool. I got around, mate, but it's been here like over 2 hours. But next time we're gonna hop on it.
Next time
it's gonna be well. This call is actually a call because we didn't have a call on Saturday, but we're gonna have another one tomorrow or like 2 days after on Sunday morning. So
yeah, that works well.
Yeah, just hop in and we can actually
I'm gonna
focus on your ship.
On that one. I tried plasticity, and for certain part it just makes sense to use it instead of Blender.
I told you, man.
For the organic shapes, man.
Yeah, and then work between this and Blender, you're gonna be fine.
I also tried Gravity Sketch in virtual reality.
Oh, how was it?
It's quite cool, actually. Like, the thing is, maybe you know Freiberg or Scott Robertson. And
I do.
I did read an interview on them, and they just talked about Gravity Sketch.
Yeah.
And that you can like block in volumes.
Yeah.
That easily, and that helped me. Of course, I had to, because you don't really get, if you're that immersed, you don't get the perspective or like, let's say, vocal length perfect, but then you can change that wireframe mesh with a lattice modifier to make it more, let's say, organic. That's what I did. On that.
Look, I mean, these are the tools that that suit your. Eventually, you're going to find the tool, the tools that suit your workflow. But yeah, anything that actually makes your job easier should be your consideration. Just like plasticity is a bit easier. I mean, for me, it's much easier for organic shapes than Blender because you don't have to deal with this sub-D nonsense. Or sculpting because it's the only way to do it. But it also depends on, like, precise organic shapes are fantastic in plasticity. Less precise, like sculpting. I mean, if you want to create less precise organic shapes, so sculpting will be better. But you can combine both, and see how it's gonna work for you, and just create like a hybrid workflow, just like Dustin was doing with Blender and ZBrush. He was using both at the same time, and I think he was using plasticity too. So cool. So we can jump into this on Sunday. and have a deeper dive into your vessel specifically. So
That
yeah,
would be awesome.
bring it up. And I had the Discord actually closed off, and I was sharing the screen, so I didn't even see you popping in. You sneaky bugger, you.
Yeah, I was
Like a little
noticing,
like
but
a
I
little
was just
spy,
keeping
man.
quiet
Like a little
and just
spy.
listening, you know.
How
Yeah, I
long
was
you've been
just
around? Because I
listening to
literally
the
didn't see
wisdom.
Discord for since I opened shared the
Uh,
screen. So.
Maybe half an hour or so.
Probably 10.
Oh really? You should have
I
said
think
hi or
I was
something.
quiet 10 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
did in the beginning. Hello, but I think it got unnoticed and.
You've only been super quiet,
Chen-
man. You need to up your volume a bit. Can barely hear you.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, I
ring.
was quiet because there was some energy going on in your
I see.
conversation, so I didn't want it to interrupt and
Oh,
just
it's okay. You can just
hop
hop in,
whenever
no
I
problem.
could.
But we had some good chat on this one. I mean, I really like this scene. It's really cool. It's a beautiful portfolio piece, especially when you're gonna finish it up and put some vignette and stuff. It's gonna be amazing. So yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
brilliant.
Did you
awesome.
paint something in, or is it all 3D?
Oh, it's just a render.
No, it's
Oh,
all.
yeah,
You didn't
see.
paint anything. He's asking if you painted.
No.
something.
Oh no,
Okay.
I haven't done any.
Paint over.
Yeah,
But
it's
you're a
just
painter, right? You're a painter.
yes, but I
So you
haven't
could
done
take that to
anything.
the next level, right?
Yes, I will push it just a little bit more, just enough to please myself, but nothing
You could paint some
extravagant.
smudges on the vessel, like the vessel goes through space and gets some smudges here and there. This could be
Yes.
interesting too, like when the vessel is outside, it's a huge vessel. They have like water leaks or whatever. You could do this too. Like you should play around because you're a painter, so
Yes.
you could really pamper the shit out of this.
Yes,
if
that's
you
what I
wanted
want
to.
to do.
Just grab a
Render
coffee
out
and doodle.
ambient occlusion and mist pass, and then in Photoshop you could a little bit manipulate so you get crevices more shown and the depth of the scene.
You could also do it with dodging and burning. If you're gonna research dodging and burning technique in Photoshop for portraits, when they
Yes.
when they burn shadows and dodge highlights, you could do the same thing. So you could do it, and you could just paint over on layers. So there are many ways of doing this. But yeah, mist pass gonna be interesting too. Cool. Well, this is brilliant, and I really love it. So thanks for sharing. And
thank you.
Leon, we're gonna be diving deep into your vessel on Sunday, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's gonna be
Nice.
fun. Cool. So we good?
All right. Yes, we're good.
Yeah.
Wow, that was very inspiring. So thank you for your time, Ryuu.
Thank you for sharing the work. I mean, it's I really like it. I really like it.
Awesome. And then I'll pop up on Sunday and just to show you my where I'm at with that. But hopefully I can wrap that up by mid of next week or so.
Yeah, and then make something smaller next.
I'm looking forward to start something way smaller. Like actually, I want to do.
This is.
I want to do. How do you say this? I don't remember the name of it. It's like a hover bike, like.
Oh, hovercraft! Yeah, cool.
Hovercraft. Yes, I want to do something.
Wow.
Why don't you draw something first and then go from drawing?
Yeah, I'll do some sketches.
Could be interesting. Yeah. Star Citizen has some good hover bikes as well. It's called Nox, I think. It's amazing. Very angular, very aggressive. Kind of reminds me of the planar shifts on my Mac. So kind of like really cool.
Well, the image I have in my mind is it's a A10 Thunderbolt or no
War Thunder.
It's a A10. It's like a jet engine, American jet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And it has like those round engines on the wings.
Right.
And it looks so aggressive.
The A10 Warthog?
Yes. They look like brutal.
They are brutal. They have a Gatling gun on them. Like
I'm looking
and
forward
they
to
are
do with it.
Yes, and they are so loud. Like I've seen them like flying by, and it's like wow. It's like I get like so excited just to think about it.
That's cool.
I like jets and the big engine that makes a lot of noise. I don't know, and it's like
weapon.
Yeah, well, maybe not the weapon, and then it's like it shakes the ground, and it's like it shakes your entire body, like even feel your heart. It's just that strong.
Yeah, the
It's like,
vibrations
Yeah.
are
woo!
crazy.
Yeah, I think there's some war machines that actually are like sonic weapons to shake people
Mm.
unconscious
Yeah.
and shatter glass and stuff.
But no, it's really when the jet just fly by next to you, like on a low altitude, like it really shakes the ground. Like it'll even turn the car alarms on. It's that strong.
Mm.
And
Where are you living
but
that you
anyway,
hear those?
I don't want to take too more further time from Ryu right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I
But
gotta dash,
Okay.
but
yeah,
Yeah.
we can have this kind of conversation next time.
yeah, I mean
Okay.
Sunday. I'm gonna set it to Sunday morning GST 5 a.m. so we can have a chat then.
All right.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll see you guys
Okay.
then. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
See you.
you.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.
Ciao now.
Ciao.